Hi, everyone. This is the VOLTA meeting for December 17th, 2019. Zach Williams. I'm filling in for Julie as I think, her vacation starts early. Um, these VOLTA meetings are public. We record them and they're posted to YouTube, so keep that in mind. Um, so the only thing we have for this discussion today is the VOLTA 2.2 release, which is the code freeze was last night, and right now we're just taking release-related items and other patches that improve stability. So we have the release progress dashboard, which is here. Currently, there are, let me reload this. There are 4 items. Or 5 items total. 2 are to-do ones that I filed, which are to make release notes and to create Helm charts. We haven't, nobody has picked these up yet. I believe the release notes are going to be worked on by the G5 group, but the Helm charts, I think Scott Baker
Yeah,
volunteered.
yeah. You can assign that to me, or I'll go in and assign it to myself. Either
Okay,
one.
I'll assign that to you right here. Alrighty, and then I'll take over the documentation, release documentation, and guide that through the G5 process. Um,
Then I'll also add an issue to do component releases prior to the Helm charts, and I'll assign that one to myself.
okay. Can you add those as subtasks on the Helm chart?
Yeah, I can do that there. And I guess the other thing to point out is we are waiting for go ahead that all relevant material for the release is checked in before we do the Helm chart release
Okay.
and the component release.
Um, Looking at the other items we have here, we have Volta 2284, which is disable and enable the ONU scenario for the AT&T workflow. So this is a test. It looks like there's a patch available, 1699.4, which there's one comment on. It looks like Suchitra and Torsten, who've been working on, have been corresponding with this. Suchitra, could you speak to this? Is this going to make the release?
Yes, but we will be closing by end of today, both the stories that are on the list.
Okay, so that's 2284 and
the last one on the list.
2375.
Yes.
Which is these 3, which this is the 2284 patch.
Yes, exactly. So if we just merge this patch, then we are done. So
okay, and then there's some other tests that that need to go in. So this also got merged. So that's done. Okay, so
yes.
all right, so these are going to go in by the end of the day. Okay, the other one that's on here is the enable OT endless loop in the open OT adapter restart. That's 2362. And so it looks like this has been, a patch has been merged on this. This is, can this be closed, 2362? Looks like David Bainbridge and with some comments from Scott.
Yeah, I thought there were 2 parts to this one. One was the actual change to adapter itself. And if you scroll down, I think I added a comment where I tested this on hardware and it worked, or maybe it was someplace else. But anyway, the other part was a change to BBSim to make BBSim behave more like the hardware in this regard.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if that BBSim change would make it in or not, but at least from the adapter's point of view, I think there's no other pending change.
Okay. Is there a JIRA for that other change that we're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of. I think it was being worked under this one.
Okay.
Yeah, so this one, it's an endless loop. So the exponential back off that mitigates the loop, but doesn't eliminate the endless loop. So there's still, even with the back off, there's still an endless loop. So I think David was actively working on fixing that, so that loop was broken.
Okay.
but I don't know whether he'll get that part in by release or not.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds a little scary. So is that so? Basically, it's when you enable indications. So basically, that's events and alarms. Is it that to send up that it gets into some kind of loop?
Yeah, so I think what was happening was it would enable indications. BBSIM would say yes, they're enabled, but then it would fail to send them, and then the adapter would go ahead and try to enable them again. Originally, this was happening very, very fast, hundreds of times per second or more. So the back off fixed that speed issue, but it's still the case that BBSIM is not responding properly or whatever's going on there, and they're not actually getting set up, and it's continuing to retry.
Okay.
And I think the trigger for this was, at least when I observed it, was if you deleted the OpenOLT adapter pod and let it come back up, it would enter this this broken state like this.
So after this patch, after this patch, though, at least on the hardware setup, this didn't prevent the adapter from working. The test I did yesterday was killed the adapter instance, adapter starter back up, and then proceeded to provision ONUs, which succeeded, allowing packet indications and OMCI indications to flow.
And is that the behavior that wasn't happening with BBSIM? It wouldn't resume properly on adapter.
Yeah, that's correct. So BBSIM, it would respond that it did enable the packet indications, but it actually didn't. Something's broken inside, and then before the back off was added, it would eventually run the host out of memory because it would launch threads each time it tried to re-enable.
Okay, it would be good to get the if that's a separate VOLTHA issue here in Jira, to link these two so that we can keep track of them. And also, I'd like to make sure that other issue is dealt with, because that sounds like it'll be a testing issue. Okay, well, those are all of the items that we've discussed, or that are on the 2.2 release. It sounds like they're all fairly well squared away. Is there I'm curious, are there any other comments about this process, or will anyone need assistance doing like the releasing of individual components? Scott, do you need help with that at all?
No, I should be able to do that in half a day or less once we get the go-ahead that it's ready. So we just need to hear back on these issue or two that are blocking it.
Okay.
This is Ain. So I have a procedural question. So I run various dashboard on Sivo Search and this VOLTHA things, and my dashboards currently show 5 issues resolved, but they are unassigned. And I was just wondering, how does that happen? How does an issue get resolved when it's unassigned?
Could they be ones that were resolved as won't do?
Yeah.
No, they are actually specifically, these are fixed done.
Sometimes that happens when somebody has fixed a bug, and they've also tangentially fixed another bug, and then they just close it because they can't reproduce the bug. It may be that they're miscategorized.
Okay.
So if you
out of the 350 that we are sorry, out of the 700 that we are tracking, it's 5, so it's not a huge percentage. But I was just wondering, like, how does that happen?
Yeah. So, feel free to bring those up with me or Julie, and we can work through.
I'll send you a screenshot of these, and you can take a look. Okay.
Okay. So we didn't have other topics for the on the agenda. Are there other things that need to be discussed prior to the release?
And this is Sean. I'm a little bit behind here. So is the 2.2 release going to have the simplified VOLTHA core?
Yes.
Okay. And how about the ONOS version?
113.9.
113.9. Okay. Thanks.
So just building on that question and response, API server is excluded from this release. Then we don't need to release it, and we don't need to bump its Helm chart because it's not in use. Just confirming that.
Correct.
And BAL is BAL release 3.0, 3.1?
3.1.
Okay.
So agent will get tagged as well too, which is included in this.
Correct.
Is someone taking care of bumping the OpenVLT version? Should we do that?
We need
OpenVLT
to.
agent.
Yeah, when we give the go ahead, all of them are supposed to be tagged. You could tag Girish. You could tag the agent as well.
Okay, let me do it. Thanks.
Okay, if there isn't anything else to discuss, I think just let's get on fixing these last few issues, and hopefully we'll have a release later today. And also, as one point of clarification, what this release entails is we're going to be taking the Helm charts to a 2.2 version and tagging that Helm chart repo as 2.2.0. The individual charts below that and the component versions that are used may be newer or older, or they might not all equal 2.2.0 because all the components are being versioned independently. The marketing 2.2 or the release 2.2 is done on the chart level. If you need other clarification about that, we should probably include that in the release notes. Are there any other comments? Okay, then. I'm going to call the meeting. We'll talk to everybody on Slack or on the mailing list. And currently, we don't have anything on the schedule for next Thursday's meeting. There was going to be there might have been a QA presentation, but it sounds like that might not happen. So thank you all. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.